Hey, look, over there's a podcast. It's about a cat movie that was not very good. But the critics, they make out it's like some crazy shit. It is okay just to watch.
You've given up, Shay? Just like me with this intro?
God damn it. You did it. You did it.
I didn't do it.
As you turned it on.
No, well, when you're a jellicle cat, you've got quick podcasting hands, and you're unable to notice when I'm doing flippity-dip magic with my snip-snap paws. Welcome back to Hurd Ya Saw.
That was as unnatural as the film was.
Yeah. It's not going to be a fun one, guys. Strap the fuck in. I am joined by EJ.
Hi.
Jim.
Hello.
Morton.
Hello.
Sean.
Hello.
Shay.
Hello.
And Racy.
G'day.
Full team coverage plus Jim.
Yay.
Well done, everybody. We all turned up for cats. What a mistake. What a big mistake.
Don't give away the tone that we're striking.
Yeah.
No. I think the thing is that my tone that I'm going to take with this movie is probably going to be similar to everyone else's, but not for the reasons that you're expecting.
Prepare yourself.
Oh boy, here we go. So, we just walked back from the Curzon Oldgate after watching the movie Cats, the musical, the movie.
Specifically paying to see.
Paying
cats.
a small amount of money.
Specifically paying a small amount of money to be far too close to the screen.
Yeah.
I couldn't
What the
see
hell?
the entire
So
screen for
when-
most of the film.
When I booked the tickets, I was just looking at what I could get, like...
In a big row.
Usually, in the other screens I know that, like, the second row is quite a good row.
Yeah.
I didn't realise I was going to be that
Shay, to be fair, if you put us any further back, we would have been closer to the people who were actually on drugs.
Yes.
So that would have been
And mounting one of the statue horses outside Curzon Oldgate
just
when we left,
going to town.
while singing memories.
I feel like they were definitely the key demographic, but we're going to begin as ever with a round of feline, one line, all the lines,
Feline,
doing lines of
Jesus.
catnip off each other's bodies. Hot
God.
takes. I'm going to start with Jim, as you're the guest.
Okay.
What's your one-line hot take,
my
baby?
one-line hot take is, I can't say the word jellicle has lost all meaning because I didn't know what it meant, but it's whatever is below that.
Okay.
It's the green jelly, isn't it? Or is that Frangelica?
Oh, dear.
I'm
And so begins the pun battle.
No, that's not a pun battle. There's a baking.
We've got Jim
ingredient
Woodall in the red
Frangelica.
corner.
Oh, you're right about that, but I don't know what it is.
I
Yeah.
also don't know what it is.
Is that
More-
not the word they were saying?
No, that's genial.
I thought that was genital.
Okay, I actually know it is the word jellicle is meant to be dear little cat.
Yeah.
Because my
As
only
in
exposure.
angelic.
So,
That as well, I
I
think.
think
My,
it's
my only
like
exposure
identical
to the
cat.
musical is like reading a Twitter thread about it.
so it's like
the way
chai
most
tea
musicals
where
go.
it's TT, it's Dear My Little Cat
dear,
Cat.
dear little what?
Dear Little Cat Cat.
What are you saying?
No,
What
no,
is
If someone's a
happening?
jellicle cat, then it's
No,
Dear Little...
jellicle. Imagine like a
Dear
posh,
little cat
a posh
cat.
woman saying dear little. Jellicle.
Jellicle. It's like
Imagine
dear
you
little.
put
So a
Stanley
jellicle
Johnson
cat
in
is
a
a dear
nightclub.
little cat.
He's trying to woo
Okay.
you.
It's someone with too many teeth in their head trying to say words.
Right, okay.
Morton.
How
Was
do you
Steve
just said it at the
Buscemi?
end?
Morton, what's your one-line hot take on cats,
He
please,
could
dear?
have been in the chorus.
Okay, so I was debating between two different ones. I will save the 5-minute anecdote about an incident in a public toilet last night till later.
Excellent.
My one-line hot take, not connected, but I have never seen something so specifically designed for masturbation that has made me also fear that I may never sustain an erection ever again.
That was personal. It was meaningful. I feel like I know you better as a
Did
person.
you close your eyes when Edith Elba just came on and he was a sleek?
Nothing should make Idris Elba that unsexy, yet somehow it happened, and it was very odd.
Sean, your one-line hot take, please.
I've just realised I have to still try and sell this film to people.
You do. You got to be a good little corporate shill.
Just slide the
And out
acid
a wet
over
wipe
at
with
the
each
same
ticket.
time.
Oh, done.
You can take the line that I had for 50 Shades of Grey. I was just said, they would be like, is it good? I'd be like, it's definitely a 2 glasses of wine movie. And they were like, oh, that's great. And then they go and buy wine.
It's got a specific audience.
It does. Furries.
It's doing
Not
something.
even that, really.
know.
EJ, your one-line hot take, please. I want to go last, and I didn't want to like have you be like, oh, it's whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
My one-line hot take is it made less sense than I thought it would, and I already thought it wouldn't make sense.
Strap yourself into the synopsis.
Yeah.
It's gonna be grand.
Get ready.
Yeah.
There's
Shay.
a whole lot to talk about.
I'd like to say 2 things. One is
It's your one-line hot take.
You can have
So,
2. I'll allow it.
2. I've got 2.
As an explanation of a one-line hot take.
I will watch this again, and that time will be on
In the
my
privacy of your
deathbed,
own home.
dropping
Deathbed.
acid,
Yeah.
so I can really understand the absurdity, pointlessness, and horror that life was when I look back on it.
Wow.
The other thing is, I'd like them to release a cut, just like Cars. You know
The
how,
Schneider cut.
just like with, you know that if you just watch the eyes in Cars and you see the horror. If you just have that with either the faces of the cats or the crotches of the cats.
Or the
Faces was
human
already
hands
done.
of the cats.
The whole
Yeah,
movie
the
was
feet.
just the faces.
Well, the
I would
faces
just
are so. The CGI was not finished on this film.
No, I've got
They
something
were like,
to
we're
say
not
about
putting
that.
any more money
There
in
was
this.
at some points there was just human hands.
Yeah.
No, at most points there was
I
just
don't-
human hands.
I think
It's like
they-
Ian just put some gloves on.
But there was legitimately a scene where they didn't even color them.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
there was a scene where the cats were still pixelated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen
I mean, to be fair-
DCP film that looked like it was being projected from a DVD.
Yeah, genuinely. yeah.
There was a moment where there was a bit where like some cats did a reaction shot going, and there was one guy's face. I was like, oh, you're not done. Like it was like, fine. That one. Let's not talk about him. That's old. You know, weird face McGee, the cat whose face broke.
It
That
was
was
still
one of the
green.
character names as well, wasn't it?
Racy,
Oh, weird face McGee. The weird face.
Racy, you're
Here's
one.
my song.
Racy,
Mom, I'm gonna be on the TV.
Look at me gun. Look at
Racy,
me burn.
your one-line
I
hot
am
take,
weird face
please.
McGee.
Come through this song.
to quote the drunk girl in the bathroom,
Oh.
in reply to, oh my god, was that the best movie you've like ever seen? No.
Can I quote the guy that she was with in the bathroom as
Oh,
well? in that
God,
case?
yeah, this
Wow.
guy.
Who was just chewing his cheeks at a urinal, muttering domesticated to himself. Just over and over again. He was just chewing the sides of his cheeks, just going, so domesticated.
Can we
He
say?
said it was
So
more tame than he was
domesticated.
expecting.
And
And then he came up with the pun domesticated and just repeated.
Yeah, it was
It's like,
terrifying.
someone's
but-
gonna laugh. Can we say the thing that group said right at the end of the film?
We'll
Okay,
get there.
Okay.
We have to get there.
Let Nick have
Be a
his
part of your
one-line hot
And
take.
my one-line hot take is I'm just going to say, hey, film Twitter and film critics everywhere, you guys are fucking pussies. This movie was fine.
Pussy.
It was
Yeah.
genuinely, it was fine. I wanted so much more. I'm really angry because this movie was just cats, but sang badly and with unfinished CGI. You guys are fucking pathetic. Grow up.
Critics got claws.
I'm so angry. Like I didn't want to have expectations, and then I had expectations. I avoided all the fucking reviews and super going, it's like a mind virus. It breaks people. I saw cats and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I've seen cats many times before. This was just cats. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's musical theatre, darling. You'll be fine.
Do you think it's people who've never seen Cats
I-
before thinking that this is somehow more insane than the original?
Maybe.
I've not seen
in a
Cats.
Yeah, I've not seen Cats,
But
but I've seen shit theatre where you just like, if this was on screen, you would be pissing yourself laughing. And that's what this felt like. Like, there was
Yeah.
so, like, the fucking dance routines and stuff, it's just like, no, just make them actual cats rather than human dance routines. Like, you've just filmed a fucking theatre play.
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure that would have made it better if they were actual cats.
Yeah,
Just one thing I'll say, because I don't want to get into this too deep before we do the synopsis, is I would have
It
loved
makes
it
sense otherwise.
if the camera had calmed down
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
yeah.
5 seconds, then
Why
maybe we
was
could
it-
have appreciated
But
some
it's
of the
because
stuff.
You can't film dance, and like that's what
But
this
that's
was
what you
showing.
can. I just
Well,
think.
yeah, no, you
I just,
can,
well, I
but-
just think that like.
Tom Hooper is a.
Well,
can't film
I don't
people
want
dancing
to.
as cats
I don't want
while
to aim
also
it at
pretending
Tom.
that they're still cats.
I'll aim it at Tom Hooper for you, Jim.
I think it's a more general problem. It's just that I think a lot of adaptations of like musicals to screen is just like they think that because it's not actually happening in front of you that it's gonna be boring, and so that means they have to like put energy
jiggle
into
the
it.
camera.
There
I
has
think
to be
he
a
was-
3D version of this, given some of the shots.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I don't want to see
I
it.
I
think
don't
they
wanna see
originally planned for that and then
IMAX.
probably took it away.
They tried, but they really messed up, so the faces are coming right out. Not connected to the
EJ,
Yeah.
would you like to try
I'd love to.
and to give us the plot of
I mean, it'll
Cats?
take all of 30
Yeah.
seconds, technically.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to run through the whole thing.
Yep, go
So-
for it.
Nobody correct me.
No, I refuse to.
I
Or
don't think
help.
anyone could correct
I mean,
it.
I
Okay.
definitely could. I've seen
Okay.
Cats enough times. Yeah.
I'll sum it up in one concept first, and then we'll go deeper in.
I love it.
Okay.
I'm on
The
board.
concept is a abandoned, vulnerable cat is taken into a ritualistic cult where they need to prove themselves worthy of being sacrificed yearly, and then that cat dies, and that's it.
Is reborn, is the...
Allegedly.
Yes.
There's no evidence of that. So it's like many religions. It's pointless, and it doesn't have any kind of benefit. So anyway, I'll get back into the story.
So it's just strong
Enemy of the show,
Castlevania vibes.
religion. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's too real.
Manson family.
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, they did kill a pregnant woman at the end.
Technically didn't happen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood either.
Haven't seen it.
Don't want to.
Let's spoil a different movie, though, that is on brand for us. Okay, this film it opens with a car and the only human. And
Yeah.
they throw a cat in a bag into a dumpster, and then a bunch of cats investigate it. It takes fucking years to get out of the bag. And then they sing a song and dance and shit, and there's a lot of shaky cam, and you're left wondering what could possibly happen to improve this situation. Nothing. So, they
Nothing.
they just sing for 2 hours, and they take turns introducing themselves, and nothing makes sense, and Idris Elba is there, and he's a villain somehow, because he has a scar, and
Contact
Sure.
lenses.
And a cowboy hat.
Rebel Wilson trains children mice, which don't make sense on any scale. 'Cause they're the same size as the cockroaches.
They're so small!
And the cockroaches are all women, and they're brutally eaten.
And they don't composite the mice correctly, but I'll get back to that.
Yeah, so that was weird. Who else is there? James Corden's there for some reason.
He's the cat who eats.
Yeah, he's his character is he's fat. That's his whole song.
And isn't that funny?
It's hilarious. Who else? Judi Dench is there, and she's wearing several other cats. Also, Rebel Wilson is wearing another cat.
Yeah.
No, she's not. She's like, you think that she's wearing a suit, and then suddenly she just unzips her skin.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
reveal clothes and then more cat
Yeah.
She's
underneath.
wearing a catsuit.
Some of the cats wear sneakers.
Yeah.
All of them have human feet.
Which ones were wearing trainers?
Did you not see, like, in the opening
The
sequence, I was
breakdancing
like,
ones.
Yeah,
oh,
ones.
there's two cats who just have shoes.
Yeah.
And then later on, they were back on screen, and Shay was like, why are they wearing shoes? So I was like, oh yeah, they showed up earlier, like,
I did
they're the
not see
cats
Yeah,
with...
they're wearing
that.
trainers.
They were the
like-
cats
Yeah.
with shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's their character.
I don't know if it's more or less unsettling when they wear clothes or when
With
they
the
don't.
cat.
I
It's
bet
a
they had a
shoe.
sponsorship
Tie up our
product
laces.
placement deal for the shoes.
Also,
They were
like,
their
Nike.
dancers
fucking
already.
Skimbleshanks the railway cat had a tap dancing routine in shoes.
Was that H from
That
Step?
made
Yeah,
sense,
that was
though.
less weird
I know
than
who that was.
sneakers.
Because it just was like, okay, he's
Was
the
it?
tap dancing cat, fine.
Yeah.
I was holding
Yeah,
up hope
somehow
for
that
the
made
actual-
sense.
I don't know everything.
Who else? Jennifer Hudson's there being sad, and Ian McKellen is there being
Old.
Creepy as
channeling
well.
the Cowardly Lion sometimes.
And Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, there's something weird about him
Right in your
on like a next level situation.
cross balls.
There's a magic cat. There's another weird cat, and
Twin thief
Specify.
cats.
twin
Yeah, that's
twin
fine.
thief cats that are, I don't know, they don't make any sense either. Who else famous is it?
There's
Ray
the Ray
Winstone's in
Winstone
it.
With a missing ear.
Yeah, he
Oh,
sings
wow.
a song,
Fucking Growl Tiger. I'm like, oh, you actually went back to the book. Interesting.
and
He's not in the original musical.
Oh,
That
wow.
whole boat sequence doesn't exist.
Ray Winston.
It didn't
I
need
really
to.
want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you
It
can
didn't
tell.
Made any, it didn't never made any
By the
sense.
way, in the original musical, McCavity can't teleport people.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Oh.
They can teleport.
Also, you haven't mentioned T-Swag.
Not yet. She's at the end.
Taylor Swift cat.
After the entire
I was about to
film.
ask if that was Jason Derulo's name.
Oh yeah, Jason
Yeah.
Derulo
No, the
Rum
Rum Tum
Tum
Tugger.
was a
The
different
cat who fucks.
who was-
I was going to say, the Rum Tum Tugger is what a lot of people will be doing in the cinemas to this. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, too much? No?
No, it's accurate.
Yeah,
Um,
you know.
I'm going again tomorrow.
Taylor Swift is in it.
She is
She
Bomblerina,
is-
the female cat who fucks and gives everyone drugs.
Yeah.
That's her character.
Yeah.
We love drugs.
Yeah.
I wish I had some.
And then at the end,
What about the girls at the back?
I offered.
I know you
weed
did, and I was like, I
and
need to
you
be
fool.
responsible in podcasts. But now I'm like, well.
It was the look
yeah.
that Shay gave me 5 minutes in when I'd finished one of the 2 pints that I'd taken. That they had already criticised me for taking more than one. And then, granted, I needed a piss for like the last hour
Yeah.
of the film. But like, I needed another pint.
I
as
know.
well.
I wish
felt,
I'd had
I
more
felt really
wine.
bad where Nick picked up his glass of wine and then just and saw it was empty and then I was like, poor Nick.
Anyway, EJ, you need to get to the ending
oh,
point.
yeah,
What's
the
the
ending.
point of the ending?
oh,
Ah!
there isn't one, but you're left thinking, boy, who's the cat that's gonna be chosen as the sacrifice? And then it's Jennifer Hudson's character.
Grisabella, the glamour cat.
They
She's
put-
the sad, washed-up cat.
They put her in a chandelier, and then she's taken in a hot air balloon into the sky, and it's on fire, which is worrying. And then that's
Most hot
it.
air balloons technically are.
Yeah, but the chandelier was on fire too. And then Judi Dench turns to the audience
That's
terrible.
and in a really remarkably close up.
Yeah, you can see all her
Yeah.
hair follicles.
Especially
Again,
for
it's
us at
her
the
way
front.
of supporting Kevin Spacey.
The-
She's just going to break the fourth wall and everything
There's
from now on.
there's no other shot. That was their only shot of that scene.
I mean, if you did what I did and focus on the other characters, they
That's
were
what I
actually
did.
mouthing along.
Oh, some of them were doing some great bits of like, she was like, you need to take off your hat, and then Mistopheles was like, I'll take my hat off because
Yeah.
that's what she said. I love it when background actors do what the person just fucking God.
And she spoke
And then
for
it was
hours.
over. And nothing
And
made
then
any
Jennifer
sense.
Hudson flew up.
Oh yeah,
into
she
the-
disappeared.
And no fade, it's
Right.
just black.
Yep. And
Yeah,
then
as
And
if to
then-
say, take that,
It's like
society.
The Sopranos.
Well, no, it's like the theatre, you know, blackout.
yes.
She went up into the sky, went to black, and then one drunk woman went, she died. And it made the film perfect.
Yeah.
I think that woman is in every screening.
It's the same
That's
drunk
in the
woman.
film.
That was just the audio on the track. Yeah.
Right,
It's
that
the
was
same drunk
very
woman
good sound.
Who
Surround
each
sound.
time memories vaguely started was like, oh, it's time. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
there's definitely
Like, everyone's aware
reprises.
that it's not.
Yeah.
So
And then,
I'm gonna be straight with you guys. I have a fairly hefty rant in me, but I'm not gonna lead with that
Okay.
because that would just be Nick talks for a while, and I'd like to hear what other people thought. Sean, You were perhaps the most apprehensive member of the group.
Well, I'm also
What? Morton?
No, Morton was like more
Legitimate
resigned to it.
phobia.
Like Sean
Yeah.
was just like, I don't.
Sean is the person that I've seen the most horizontal in a cinema, yet still watching the film at the same time. It's like I was aware I was like that about half an hour in, and I was like, no, I'm either gonna fall asleep or piss myself. So like I need to sit up, and then I kind of turned about 10 minutes towards the end, and I was just like, how? Like you've not got your feet on the chairs in front of you, yet you've somehow got your head in the lap of the person behind you at the same time. And yeah.
Sean,
Granted,
bravo.
chairs do slide back.
They're
a bit,
good
right?
recliners.
But yeah, I was very horizontal.
You
What
were
do you make-
lounging like a
Yeah.
cat.
Yes, I was.
You were the
I'm getting
gum-
used to
the
Something
gum-
flat.
Gumpy
Yeah.
cat? What
the
was
Gumby cats.
it? Gumby cat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gumby
Jenny
cat.
I'm
dogs.
probably just getting used to the sofas at work. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
What did you make of it, Sean? What's your feelings in your heart?
It's possibly the worst film I've seen this year.
Wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, granted, I haven't seen a lot of bad films this year, so I think that doesn't. It's just. I remember like when I was at work today because I watched Star Wars this morning at the time of recording, and when
Just
I
as a
came
quick check. Star Wars or Cats?
Cats.
Which
Star
was
Wars.
better?
Star Wars.
Oh, Cats was better.
Cats was better.
Okay, Star Wars.
Cats was braver.
Genuinely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I actually quite admire Tom Hooper for that. Like you fucking tried something.
He did try something.
I don't think
Cost
that
a lot
was
of
him.
drugs.
Well, I mean, he's often accused of being bland. And,
He is very boring.
And
He's a
And-
terrible director.
admittedly,
Friend
like
of mine's met him. He's really dull.
and I sort of agree with Nick a bit in that like, oh, this wasn't as out there as I was
Yeah.
expecting, which might be Tom Hooper's influence, but also it's the most out there film that Tom Hooper's ever done, and I'm just like, okay, you try something, that's alright.
But I don't think it's out there because of Tom Hooper. It's
Yeah.
out there because of how crazy the musical is.
I do-
And, but
well,
his
I
style
don't
is
think
still
it's-
the same.
I don't think it's just
but
how crazy the
applied
musical
to the
is.
crazy CGI-ness of
I
it.
think it's also just the idea of trying to take Cats as it exists on stage and putting that into a cinematic space, which doesn't really make sense
But
as
it
an
wasn't
idea.
a cinematic space at the same
No.
time. Like you could have recreated that set on a very big stage, granted, but like not necessarily a stage, but in like a kind of immersive cinema theatre setting. Like it didn't actually explore that much. It was in the same alleyway the whole time. Like you were never lost as to the geography of the film,
No.
except
Apart
for
from
when
when they
suddenly they're
teleported
in
to a
fucking
boat.
Trafalgar Square or on a boat.
Or,
on a
or when
boat.
they suddenly appeared on a railway bridge.
Yeah,
where
or the
they never
railway
actually
bridge.
visited.
But beyond that, it was a very theatrical film set in the sense that it was just like, no, you've not done a whole lot with this.
Yeah.
And like even worse, they did the least amount they could do. It's all green screen to the
Yeah.
point. If you watch the floor, like ignoring their feet because I couldn't.
Very hairy feet.
No, the CGI floor warped as the floor that they were dancing on moved under their weight.
Because it was a sprung floor, presumably.
Whoa.
Yeah. That would
That's
make
crazy.
sense.
Yeah. So like especially in the ballroom and in the alleyway, especially the alleyway, because they're trying to map a textured surface onto a on a non-textured flat surface. It was just not great. And the reason why I was watching their feet so often is because all of them were floating. All of the
Yeah,
cats.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
There were certain bits where I was just like, well, you're not walking
Like-
on. Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Okay.
like there was like in the ballroom there was a crate that was turned on its side as well. They hadn't mapped it properly because one of the cats was putting his hand obviously on the green box that was next to him, but his hand wasn't touching anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
It may have been
Floating.
constantly teleporting. We've been over this. They were teleporting cats.
I've thought of
To give the film its full title.
I've thought of a nice thing to say that actually
Keep
ties
it
this
to
back to
yourself.
an earlier episode. So, on the Mamma Mia 2 Here We Go Again podcast that I did with my family,
Yes.
which is Shay and EJ's possibly favourite film of the year.
Wasn't
Of
this
the
year,
decade.
but yes.
Of the decade. Yeah, but one of the things I complained about in that is that I felt that Mamma Mia 2 didn't commit hard enough to the unreality of musicals. Cats, in places,
Well,
committed to the unreality of musicals, specifically in the Skimbleshanks song, where they were like, we're in a ballroom standing on a log, now we're on a train bridge, and now we're on a train, and it doesn't matter where we are, we can all fucking teleport. It's great. And I was like, yes, I like that.
Okay, well, first off, you're wrong about Mamma Mia too.
I'm not.
I mean, Cher emerges on a helicopter.
Yeah.
Like, it very
come
much
on.
commits to the unreality of musical in a cinematic space.
Not hard
anyway,
enough.
Anyway,
Not
no,
hard enough.
hard enough. Anyway, hard enough with enough sincerity. But I want to say, I agree with you about the best part of Cats was when they, like, were teleporting the
when they were like, you don't need to
train
worry
guy.
about how they got
When the
around.
camera
The train guy.
teleported, not when the cats
camera teleport, and
Yeah.
also the
Not in text,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
McCavity
yeah.
goes, vanish!
Like, I was also, but like at the beginning, I was like, oh, this film's not actually gonna be as crazy as it was. And then the Rebel Wilson song happened,
Oh yeah.
That was
and I was
does.
like,
Yeah.
this shit's insane. And then
Yeah.
it went back down.
Yeah.
But like those moments where it went full on committed to the craziness of how space can work.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it was
Was-
shot interesting.
No, no,
no,
I
no,
agree.
no.
There was so much fucking handicap, and I was just like,
Just lock it off.
yeah, just lock it down.
Yeah.
It's fine. We want to see things clearly.
Makes it easier for the
That's
guys putting CGI in.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
you've got a great tap dancer. Let me see him tap dance.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not.
Don't let me see his face.
I don't want to see his torso spinning. I
Yeah.
want to see his feet tap dancing. He's
There-
a tap dancing cat.
In the bit with the tap dancing when they're on the bridge, there was that one bit where it like most of the shots are like sort of this medium range of them on the railway line, like tap dancing and doing moves and stuff. Then for some reason it cut to an incredibly far back wide shot,
Yeah.
and I wish someone had done the audio cue of suddenly the audio is just like really muted. It would just be like it's like Skimbleshanks like. Like, what? What over there?
Oh, it's like in Shazam they make a mockery of that.
Oh, really? They
Yeah.
do the same thing?
Yeah, it's a thing of like where they do like the villain's speech.
Oh, yeah, and he's
thing.
like, I can't hear you!
Yeah.
We're so far apart! What?
There's a great. Also, Barry does the same joke where Stephen Root's character comes out to like negotiate with some bad guys, and he comes out of these stairs, and he's like, "Wow, so we've all come to this point," and he's like, but then it cuts back. They're quite far away from the stairs, and they're like, "What is he saying?"
I do want to point out that like it was very obvious on the bridge. I'm just going to talk about CGI. The whole
That's
ride.
fine.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
On the bridge, right? The cats were probably, I don't know, this big, and then they triple in size
Yeah.
as soon as they entered
They
the...
went to the super wide shot and you're like, I can still see them and they're meant to be cats. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, the cats never stayed the same size.
No,
That was
Yeah.
still toned down from the first trailer. Like, they definitely did a lot of work since that first trailer when people were so
Yeah.
kind of like physically, mentally affected by it. Because when you watch the second trailer, it's not as bad in terms of like the chopping and changing of sizes. There's still a few shots in the film, like when she's with the two thief cats and they're kind of sat on the plates. You're kind of just like, oh, it's a bit weird with the size, but there's no kind of really obvious things beyond kind of in passing. Like all of the like main actual shots and like narrative shots, they're fairly similar in size. It's only when it goes slightly weird that they're just like,
Well-
oh, we couldn't be asked to fix this.
Yeah, so like back on the table, she was like holding up this fork and knife,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
were like the same size as her, and then the fucking magician's pulling a spoon out of his hat, and
Yeah.
It's a really tiny spoon.
Yeah.
Used for tiny eggs.
That was
It was also
obviously a
made of-
teaspoon.
it was also made of foam because it wobbled.
Why
But
is
also
it-
most spoons fit in hats. So it's more.
Wait,
It's
is
more,
it a hat-sized
it's more the
hat?
cut. Yeah, no,
It's
Where
like
did
a
he get
size
the cat
hat.
size hat from?
Where
These
did
are
any of
magic
them get any of their
cats.
clothes?
Shay, go for it.
Why is it a cat like a human world because there's a human in it, but then all the buildings are called like Catsino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
what's going?
I think it's meant to
None of
be
it
like
makes
you've
sense.
entered
It's
the
supposed to be
secret
funny.
cat world.
Right.
Secret Cat London.
The
Yeah.
signs change.
Yeah, like, you know, as the sun was coming up, you could see all of the cat-centric signs were like faded and no longer lit and stuff. So the night of the Jellicle Ball is when you enter cat reality.
Right,
So
okay.
it's just like it kind of felt like Toy Story.
A
I mean-
little. It's the secret life of cats.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
No,
really
I think Shay was
TSL.
right in terms of Cars.
Oh. Yeah.
It felt most like Cars.
Well, like a world where
Yeah,
cats
except
are
for the first scene where you have like the kind of
a human
Tom
throwing
and
a cat in
Jerry
a bag.
mum throwing the cat, or whatever the woman in Tom and Jerry is. But like,
Wasn't she like a fat black lady?
I think
There's a
so.
woman in Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, she'd be
Yeah.
like, Thomas, don't you be
Yeah,
choosing that
I
I
mouse!
don't
Like
think
a
it was
bit of an
a
outdated-
sensitive character.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they were cowards for not showing a person acting as a dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
When that dog, I was
Yeah,
like, oh my god,
yeah.
I can't wait to see
Yeah.
who this dog is gonna look
They
like.
could have
Yeah.
really done something
They could
with
have done
that.
something.
Like
Oh, yeah.
giant.
Do you think that they originally cast Ray Winston as the dog and then backtracked?
They reused whatever footage they.
Yeah.
We'll just use him as Growl Tiger. So, here's a fun thing. In talking about cowardly decisions, you know the first time that Victoria, lead boring character cat who doesn't actually exist in the musical.
Whoa!
No, she does. Yeah, no. The musical is less structured than this to an absurd degree.
Well, see, that makes it because I was just expecting the whole way through. It's like, she's the cat who's sort of like, who's being the most selfless. She's going to be the jellicle choice.
That's what
Oh
I
no,
thought.
And then when
it was always obvious that it was going to be Grisabella.
I mean,
I was
I'm not.
conflicted.
I wasn't surprised because I'm like, oh right, yeah, because hers is like the song that everyone knows. But the whole time I was just like, I was actually thinking like, oh man, it's really going to affect Grisabella harshly when she's not chosen because Victoria is obviously.
My thinking with that was that whoever posh face. Blah, 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 blah.
Judy Dench.
Good
No,
words.
Poshy
Victoria.
Yeah, her. She was credited as and introducing.
Oh, is she?
So
Yeah.
it's like it was obvious that they've made up the role, or at least that it was like that. Like you say, because it's not the song that you know, you would know the song that's connected with
Well,
the character.
So-
One, I thought that maybe she would become. I thought like Judy Dench might
That, yeah,
decide
she might snuff it.
become Judy Dench's like role in the,
The
world.
new
It'd be
old-
like because she was the one who was like, oh, you
She's
should
her
come and
seeing eye
sing
cat.
because
You're young Deuteronomy as opposed to old
yes.
Deuteronomy.
Yeah, exactly.
Deuteronomy.
Oh,
But that didn't
Oh
happen.
my God.
So
Because none of them had genitals.
It's true.
Do you think there'll be a sequel?
no.
No.
yeah, wait.
But-
so,
well,
so the
hold on,
original
after
cat
In the
was-
original musical, it's way less like the way I've described Cats to people. Just a quick round, like I guess show of hands for me, so I know how many people have actually seen Cats.
I've seen scenes of
I've
it
seen-
on
well,
Sean
I've
has,
seen
Shay has seen
scenes.
scenes, EJ
The
has
animal
seen
probably
was
like
play.
5.
the play.
I
No,
studied-
no, and no.
I studied T.S. Eliot in high school. Does that count?
No.
No.
I've seen the
Uh,
clips in Everybody Hates Chris where Chris's dad keeps punching the cats.
I've seen the episode of Hey Arnold where Helga tries to reconnect with her father, and her father like thinks that she wants to see this musical called Rats, and they reconnect by laughing at it.
I want
So-
to see the musical called Rat.
So,
That sounds
in
fun.
the way I would describe Cats the musical is that it is basically 2 hour, well, like an hour and a half of origin stories and a fight scene, and that's it.
Wait, what's the fight scene?
So you know the guy? I was trying to remember his name because he does have a name, but I can't remember what it is.
The magician.
No, the lead cat guy who was the first dude,
The guy that looks like Carl McLachlan.
probably.
The
Carl
grey one.
McCatlin.
You're so happy with yourself.
The, the grey one?
Yeah, the grey one.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. It begins with an M, but I can't fucking remember the name.
McGinty.
Let's call him McGinty. McGinty and McCavity have a fight,
Oh.
and like then McCavity like gets electrocuted and dies.
What?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing
That's
that I was
way
really
better.
hoping for. Rather than like a chandelier hot air balloon, I was really hoping that Grisabella was just going to run out into the street and a car came along. Like that's
Wait.
I wanted like a
What do you
really
mean?
harsh cut of just like this human cat being mangled in a wheel.
Thing in
But
the
like
in the musical
And then
actually.
Tom, and then it cuts to reality, and Tom Hooper comes out the car and goes, "It meant nothing all along."
The thing is though, her actual Grisabella's passage to the Heaviside Layer in the musical is actually way cooler. Because in this she gets a fucking shitty hot air balloon. We see her fly away for way too
Yeah,
long.
it's very
In the
trendy
musical,
stuff
a
there.
gigantic silver arm cat comes out of the sky and she walks up it into heaven. It just carries her away and she's
Oh,
fucking gone.
what?
It's fucking hype as shit. You're like, oh fuck, you know. But the thing of it is that it's never acknowledged that like all of these cats are competing to be the chosen
Dead
one.
cat.
They've just all turned up. They're like, oh, we're the fun thief cats. Oh, I'm the fat one. It's just they just all happen to be there because it's when all the cats come together.
Britain's
So-
cat talent.
In a sense, maybe. But there's no viewpoint character, there's no overarching plotline of McCavity doing shit. Like, Taylor Swift's character, Bomblerina, is there the whole time, and she actually is one of the ones who shit-talks Grisabella when she's first introduced. It's less structured, but I think that makes it more acceptable because you're not looking for a narrative. It's like, well, here's a bunch of cats. One of them's going to cat heaven.
I don't think I
So
was looking for a
essentially-
narrative in this
So
film. at
essentially,
any
they
point.
made the film. They made it worse by trying to like have it conform to a filmic.
Well, I think they had
Reaction
to,
plot.
because I don't think you could just put cats on film and people would be like, they'd be like, but what's the...
But if you commit
What's
to
happening?
I
the
think they
strangeness,
could've.
and you
Could
did
still
like
happen.
part of the appeal of Cats, I guess, is the physicality of it all, and you
Yeah.
Yeah.
focused on that and the interaction of like cinematic space.
I didn't like the dancing.
That
I
was the
didn't
only
like the
part I
nose
liked.
touching.
The nose touching was weird. It was
The nose
like
touching.
Lion King.
And every
just like,
time there
they
was
can't
a
like
fake,
normal
every
cats.
time there was a close-up shot and they had human teeth,
Yeah.
that was just uncomfortable.
Apart from a couple of cats who didn't.
But this
There
is
were
why,
some people with fangs. I was like,
But this is why I don't think you could like adapt cats and do like animated cats or puppet cats or just do
Wait,
CGI
puppet
real
cats?
Puppet cats.
Muppet
Because
Muppet.
because part of the appeal of the stage show is watching humans behave as cats.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you.
Actually, no, you're completely right. I would watch it.
I
want
watched
to
the
watch it
Muppets
now.
do most things, so, and like, yeah, the Muppets did cats, I'd be like, fucking great.
Just a chorus. I'd be happy with like a chorus of
Oh,
beakers
just-
doing cats.
Miss Piggy is old Deuteronomy.
Oh, I'd 100% watch that. This was a big missed opportunity.
Beaker, I didn't know you had such a soulful backstory.
Wow.
So a thing that they did cut, a thing that they cut from this, which I do think they're cowards for doing. So when Victoria goes out for the first time to talk to Grisabella, and she sings the incredibly shitty song that's not in the original musical.
No, that's the.
That's the one decent
that's the
song
one
that
Well, the
made
one
any
like I will
sense.
Because
dance
then-
with ghosts and
It
shit.
made sense.
Yeah,
like,
no, it
it
was-
made some
She's
kind of
not
like.
a good singer.
No, yeah, no one in the barely anyone in this could sing well enough for my liking. I was just like, wow, this is all bad performances.
But that's because
that's-
he
that's
makes
sort
them
of-
sing live.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Yeah, you
instead
can
of
tell the mics were just here.
instead of that sequence, which doesn't happen because Victoria doesn't exist in the musical, we missed the tale of the great Rumpus Cat, where there is a play within the play.
Oh my god.
And the cats recount a great war between two kinds of dogs, and it's solved by a radical big-ass cat called the Great Rumpus Cat just coming up and fucking everyone's shit up.
When you
It's-
say fucking everyone shit up and you call it Rumpus Cat,
He's called the Great Rumpus Cat.
was there sex?
No.
Guys,
Okay.
should we have seen the stage version of
No.
this instead?
I like I genuinely quite like Cats as a stage show. It's fun.
I just
Hurd
think
Ya Saw
I think it's like
theatre.
£3 in Tesco at the moment.
I think I have it on VHS.
No, really?
On
Oh,
VHS.
wow.
Maybe that's the second Cats podcast. You
No,
should
I've got to do it, but oh god, I have
Yes.
to watch this again.
Yes.
No,
Oh,
you know what the
no,
hardest
that-
thing is that like I'm gonna see my sisters before we go and see Cats, and they are inevitably gonna try and gauge my opinion of it. I'm just gonna have to be like, I'm not talking about it at all, because I don't want to make them be like, oh, it's not gonna be good. I don't want to fucking.
I'm gonna
think
make my
anyone's
brother
going in
see it by
expecting it
telling
to
him
be
it's the
good.
best film of the year.
Oh no, you're a
But-
cruel sibling.
But
Yes.
like, you have to say like, isn't that like just the best film you've ever seen?
Just really try and sell it.
There was
Yeah.
a moment, like, very near the beginning, where I was just, like, when, like, the first number actually started and, you know, it turns out the other music isn't, like, music kind of slaps a bit. And there was just a moment where I was like, oh god, I might unironically love this.
It's a good.
And then like, nothing much happened and I realised, oh wait, no, I'm actually largely bored. But there was just that moment where I was like, oh god, am I going to be, like, the only person in the world who likes this?
I'm gonna
No.
also just get super inside baseball for a sec. This is very much as a person who likes the musical. Tom,
Oh no.
just a
Enemy
real,
of the
Nick
show.
has lent for
He is
us.
Just-
listening to be fair.
just real quick, Tom, because I know you Google yourself. And I'll put you in the tags on SoundCloud. when you first heard the music to Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteaser's song, and it's a fun, upbeat, oompa kind of like, we're all having a really good time, cause this is how this music comes out. It's meant to be like sort of this fun, like, upbeat number about these kooky little cats who do all these crimes. And it's like,
the thief cats?
yeah,
Okay.
and then you thought, I know, what if we slowed the tempo and tried to make it like weird, scat, freeform jazz? That doesn't work at all.
It's called
Great.
cat freeform jazz.
Oh. I hated that because the thing is, Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer might be one of my favorite songs in the musical, and you fucked it up. You fucked it up, Tom. You stupid motherfucker. It's meant to be fun. It's not to be like, ooh, kind of sexy, dangerous. Oh no, we doing cat crimes.
Should we get into the weird sexiness of this?
I felt there, but I was
I've
expecting.
been
I
waiting
wanted.
for us to be fair.
I want to say up front, I was expecting this to be a lot sexier, and I did not think it was that sexy.
I've
People are
never-
going, it's so powerfully erotic. I'm
I
like,
agree that I
I've
don't think it
never-
was sexy. I think there was weird sex
That's what I-
implications,
Yeah.
but
To be
it
clear,
wasn't
that's what I
sexy.
meant.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
the-
I've never
Yeah.
both feared and wanted a sex scene in a film more.
I will say is that there's a specific bit in the Rum Tum Tugger song, because he is the cat who fucks, that's his whole character, is that like, I'm the young sexy cat who doesn't commit to anything but also charms all the ladies. Wow.
There was one
I
like that on
have
my
feline
estate when I was growing up.
He does have, oh boy does he, riddled with it. But there's a bit, in the bit where he's
There's a
doing,
stigma attached,
he says
so
the-
we should really dismantle. Anyway, sorry, continue.
there's the bit where he's doing like he does the, and there's no do anything about, and he held the note for a really long time. In the stage show, he's just fucking thrusting, and all the female cats are just like hypnotically head magnets
Oh.
to his crotch. And I was like, why isn't Jason Derulo waving his dick? Why did you hire him?
Because it got CGI'd
oh, no.
out.
I knew this would happen.
No.
Okay, dig
Okay,
in.
get into the dick discourse.
There's no dicks.
The dicks course.
Yeah, there
Do
was
it.
no dicks, there was breasts.
There was no waving of crotches. There
Okay,
was not
no.
enough of all the
Go on,
sexiness.
you go, Morton.
I have a question.
Do
you
it.
say there was no dicks. There was the weird moment in the Rebel Wilson song where she pulls her tail through underneath her legs, but
Yeah.
before that,
She was singing to a big pink thing.
was it
I don't know what-
sausages?
I don't know.
I thought it was meant to be
I
wool.
thought it-
Or was
yeah,
it a
I thought it was
mouse
like-
tail?
I see.
I thought it was supposed to be a
another
mouse's
cat's
tail, but then I realised it wasn't.
Yeah, because she mentions mouse tails
Yeah, she was-
in the
yeah.
But
song.
she also
Yeah.
sings about teaching them
But-
to crochet, so I thought it might be a big piece of wool.
But it was so flesh-like.
It was weird
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
unexplained.
But also the tails kept on changing sizes, which
They-
is very
they did.
annoying.
That happens though.
What, cats will just like sprout extra tail?
No, things gain girth, they contract, they get bigger again.
If
like,
it's cold, you
yeah.
don't look as impressive as you otherwise might do.
Exactly.
We've all been there.
We evaded the.
I mean, I
the-
haven't, but
dick-
sure.
We'll get back to the dick force.
Derulo.
What do you want to talk about? The
No, we don't want to talk about it.
Have you not seen the photo where
Ah,
like he
no.
kind of expressed his bulge on Instagram?
What do you mean, kind of?
Well-
I've not. No, I've not.
It's running down his leg.
Yeah.
Is,
And then
is
in
the
a,
takeaway Jason Derulo has a
then-
big dick?
on a
Yes.
press
Okay,
on a
good for
press
him.
junket, he claims that
Junket.
they had to. Thank you.
That one, Nick.
He
Like,
claims
I like
that he claimed that they had to CGI out his cock.
Yeah,
Well, they CGI'd out everyone's
Yeah.
cock. But also,
I think they told
Yeah,
him
but
to
he
make
meant
him feel
more in
special.
his bulge sense, not in the like actual. Like I would hope that nobody was walking around with it just swinging about.
It did look
in the
threateningly
CGI.
big.
yeah, EJ was telling me about this earlier,
Yeah.
and I thought when I originally heard the story that it was him like in the green leotard
No.
suit, like him going, "Look, I'm in Cats," and that was like where it came from. No, it's just him bragging about him having a big dick. And
I just want to say,
like,
Racy is currently.
you're
She's
fat.
googled Jason Derulo CGI cat's bulge.
That's not right.
That's a sandwich.
None of this is right.
No.
I would like an uncut photo, please.
Okay,
Ah,
so
uncut.
while we're on the subject of penises,
They don't have any barbs, so
um,
anatomically inaccurate.
this
You want to
was-
be in? You want to watch Uncut Gems? Is that what?
No, this was my other one-line hot take.
Okay.
Is this the 5-minute anecdote
It
you've
is.
been prepping all
Ah,
evening?
Wait,
So-
is Uncut Gems about circumcision?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's about but I think you do see Adam Sandler's penis in it. I think.
Whose water
Yeah,
is
but
this?
not all Jewish
one's
not gonna
cinema
take
has
it.
to be about circumcision.
No, but
okay?
it's not about. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's not about.
Do your story.
So this is how to put cats in context.
This right here.
I have had a more disturbing experience this week.
That's not possible.
No, it is. So yesterday,
I believe it.
we went to a pub after work yesterday, and I was a few pints in and very much needed the loo. But it was in a grotty pub where the cubicle was out of order. So I stood at a urinal, very piss shy, desperately trying to pee before anyone else came in, when suddenly a guy bursts in, takes the urinal right next to me, and then suddenly starts just gyrating his hips. And like he can see that I'm very uncomfortable, and he just turns to me and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, mate, I'm not being weird." And I was like, you've just spoken to me at a urinal, so you kind of are. And he's like, no, what it was, mate, I was in here earlier, and there was this guy, and I was at the urinal that you're at now. It's a nice one, that. And he was like, I was at the urinal that you're at now, and he was at the other end one, out of the three. And he goes, and I could just see him moving his hips, and I was a bit concerned. I was a bit concerned by this, and I was like, yeah, I know the feeling. And he was like, but he then just goes, oh no, mate, it's nothing to worry about. I'm just gyrating. I'm pissing around the rim. It makes it more fun. It makes it a fun experience, pissing at a urinal. And he's like, so I figured I'd try it as well now. I was like, okay. And he's like, try it. I was like, I'm okay. And he's like, try it. So I'm really okay. Please stop talking to me. He screamed, "Try it" 5 times in quick succession while we were at urinals.
Dicks out.
Yeah, and
This
as I say, cats was not the most weird experience I've had this week.
Thank you for that context, Morton. Right,
Okay.
now
How
I'm
was
going
it
to
in
control
it?
my way back to
It was quite fun, to be fair.
talking about... Right.
I mean,
So, we're at like 45 minutes. And I
Really?
feel,
Wow.
yeah.
How did we talk so long about
Well, I just checked the timer, and yeah, we're at 45 minutes, almost just exactly on the dot.
If we go another hour, it'll be the same.
No,
cats.
what? No.
Let's all introduce ourselves.
With a song.
Which of us deserves to die?
Or
Racy is the Australian podcaster. Podcaster. Thank you. Yes, did it.
There it is.
yeah.
Does anyone else have any specific things that they want to talk about?
What if they built sets?
That would...
Don't be silly.
No.
They would have saved
Don't be
so
ridiculous.
much
What
money.
did they build set like? Because one thing I did quite admire, at least from the first trailer, was like when the ones inside the houses, where particularly in the what was the thief cat sequence?
Mungo, Jerry, and Rumpelteazer.
Yeah, where I thought like, oh, what I had quite admired, at least about the idea of the film, was that like it's rare where you see a film where it's just like, oh, we'll play with scale, we'll just build a gigantic set and have humans like
They did
interact.
I
do
think
that.
if they
I've
came into
seen-
contact with it in the dance routine, then it was built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the actual like background as such
Yeah.
wasn't. So they had like a big bed, or at least
Yeah.
a big thing that looked like a bed.
They
So-
had a big
but-
train
So
car.
there's
Yeah.
I think
Those
they
things
actually
that-
had a big kitchen though, because I saw a picture where one of them was reaching up for the doorknob to show the scale.
Yeah, I do
So-
remember that as well.
I think they did build. I don't know why they chose that, but they
Yeah.
did build a big kitchen.
Probably got expensive.
I mean that kind of stuff I liked. I thought like, oh, this is cool. But yeah.
Yeah, no, the one thing I've just remembered, I would pay a bit of money for the uncut or unedited footage of Sir Ian McKellen licking from a bowl.
Yeah.
What did we make of Ian McKellen in this movie?
He was creepy.
Here's the thing. When his sequence was coming up, I may have leaned over to both Shay and Jim, said, we're about to get the worst number in the fucking show.
Oh, it was
Because
so
Gus
bad.
the Theatre Cat fucking sucks.
His name is
It felt
Asparagus.
sinister.
It's just fucking lame, and it's a massive drag point in the... It's like fucking Rosina's aria out of The Marriage of Figaro, and you're just like, cool, it's a piss break song, let's fucking go. Oh, what, I can't throw an opera reference on my own fucking podcast?
Yeah, I was going to say, that was
Does that
reaching.
make you respect Ian McKellen at all? No, because everyone clearly knows that that's the worst song in Cats.
It
That
fucking
he
sucks.
decided to take that bullet and be like, I will do it.
I think
I
he's too
admire
old.
Oh yeah,
that.
he took that
He was
multi-million
like-
pound bullet.
He
Yeah.
doesn't need
But he
that
was like,
money.
oh, I would love to be in Cats.
I mean,
at
to be
any
fair,
cost.
if they said to me, Nick, do you want to be in Cats? I'd be like, I already am wearing a leotard.
You take off your skin suit and go underneath.
Okay, Should we rate them all from what was this scale that you
Oh,
were
it
using?
was like sexiest cat to... We were discussing earlier,
Yeah.
sexiest
Oh,
cat
no.
to least sexy cat.
Okay.
There's still many of them to actually name.
Okay,
I'm
who
gonna
did we
try.
think was this? Okay, I'm gonna go around the circle and you have to name your sexiest cat. I'm gonna give you a little 10-second thinking time in which I'll do some
I've already
free-form
decided.
improvisational cat lyrics. This is a cat rap, but not very long because I've got to take a cat nap.
Are we
And
doing,
now we're gonna...
Are we doing least sexy cat?
No,
as well?
most sexy
Is that-
first.
That's it? Oh,
yeah,
first.
most
okay.
sexy because I want to... Okay.
Sure.
Racy, who was your sexiest cat?
If I'm bi, do I get to pick two?
No.
No,
You gotta pick a winner. There can only be one sexiest cat.
And it will die at the end of the film.
Also, why was Jennifer Hudson's head smaller than the rest of the other cats?
Why was Jennifer Hudson's nose constantly running?
Yes.
Yes, that
Oh,
was...
that was disgusting.
I was just like,
Constant
There was a
snot.
lot of coke on the set.
I thought she was crying, but yeah, it could have been her nose.
I was just the whole time
I think it was
thinking, like, do
both.
cats' noses do that?
No.
Well, no, she
I don't
was.
think they were anatomically correct as cat noses to be fair.
I mean, I could tell they weren't anatomically correct.
Racy, sexiest cat.
Shay, sexiest cat.
Deflected, I like it. Shay.
The main cat in the cat film,
Victoria.
Victoria.
Okay, Sean, sexiest cat.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Bomblerina, as she is known in the film. Morton, sexiest cat.
George Galloway in Celebrity Big Brother.
It's an unorthodox choice, but I'll allow it. Do you have a cat who was actually in the movie that you thought was sexiest?
I will discover when I'm masturbating later and one pops into my mind. Involuntarily.
Leave a comment.
Yeah, please.
I'll leave a comment. But, I'm sorry, that was too far.
No,
I
it wasn't.
recognise that.
No.
It
We
really
hit rock
wasn't.
bottom already.
No, we can go lower, don't worry
It's
about
all
it.
right.
Jim, sexiest cat.
McCafferty.
Fair enough. Idris Elba, strong choice.
Oh, the
DJ.
lead cat is definitely the
Victoria?
sexiest, yeah.
Is it McCafferty with his coat and hat on?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I feel like the cat
Because I feel like when he was in his hat and coat, he was quite sexy, but when
Yeah.
he took it off,
It was like,
Yeah.
no. Suddenly I was like, oh, I regret having an interest in you here.
Oh no, I think without his hat and coat, I was seeing through the CGI at
Just
that
to
point.
Idris Elba.
Oh no, yeah, it's not sexiest cast member.
It's sexiest cat.
member. Because sexiest cast member.
There were no
Yeah,
cat
there's
members. We've been over this.
I was thinking the same thing.
Although I'm pretty sure it is Idris Elba. Yeah.
Idris Elba. Bad Elba.
Because
Probably
for sure.
was only wearing pants because there was lots of definition.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Idris Elba definitely, in real life, Elba and Swift would be in the top.
I'm not that into Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but she
But,
was
like,
a very
as a cat,
sexy cat.
yeah.
Also,
No, she
really
was too smug. She's like, look at me, I'm in this
She
film.
should smile more.
She knew that she was the sexy cat, and that's just so
That just
unsexy.
ruins
The
it.
Taylor Swift cat was like when you're on Grindr and you go, oh, there's a sexy guy, but then he's got the diamond symbol and you're like, oh, no.
Yeah, no, it did really
What does that mean?
That's just for
That
me.
was
just for you.
I was gonna say.
That was just for you, Jim.
it definitely cemented my opinion that she can't sing. She doesn't have range. But,
What?
you know.
Who's your
She
sexiest
doesn't
cat,
have
though?
the range.
Oh.
I'll kill you later, but that's fine.
We are
You have
enemies
been
now.
chosen.
Why do you think I said it very
You're going
quietly
to the
and
heavy
looked
level.
away?
Heavy side layer.
I will never get that right.
Do you know what? By the way, do you know what the heavy side layer actually is?
No, I've been wondering ever since.
Please.
I
No,
tell me
okay.
it's
No,
a
this is
term.
great. This is the most mental bit of the whole cat's concept.
Not possible.
No, it
You.
is. You.
Is it layer or lair?
No, it is layer.
Layer.
The heavy side layer is an actual area in the atmosphere of the planet that is used to bounce radio waves back to other parts of the world. No one knows why it was chosen by Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats to be the thing where cat souls go, but that's what it is. It's fucking mental.
Celia just couldn't find anything to rhyme.
It was just like heavy side layer. That'll do. Jellicles.
But how do cats know about that?
Cats are smart, Jim. They're magic.
You
They
know
sense
weren't real
radio
cats.
waves.
Okay, and I was gonna say,
What about EJ? Didn't say
I already
that
said
section.
the lead cat.
yeah, Victoria, and I'm gonna say
Victoria.
Rumpelteazer because I feel like that I know that actress from something.
Wait, who's that?
Female thief cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thief cats were quite sexy.
She had good
Yeah.
face. I liked her face.
Also,
It was on a cat, and I was like, I don't know about that, but
Rose from Star Wars was in that.
Rose from Star Wars.
Oh,
Mm.
Kelly
Oh,
Mackran.
Non-character who was a character in the last movie.
Wait, in the
No,
cat.
no.
Oh no, sorry. For a second, I meant the non-character who wasn't the character in the last Cats film. I'm like, there was another. You threw me there. Yeah,
Cats and dogs.
No,
The
no,
one
solid
thing
film.
about Cats
That
is
is
that
a
it's
good
all
film.
It's a
about
good
the
film.
characters. So to have a non-character.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I feel like I know what everyone's gonna say, but least sexy cat.
It's got to be James Corden.
Are we all agreeing with this?
No, Ray Winstone.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I felt an affinity with Ray.
I didn't.
He seemed like he'd been troubled.
Oh, we know who's popping into Morton's mind later.
I mean, he doesn't need to be in the cat costume. He's just that big floating.
He's
head
the biggest.
and knee
He's
betting
like, what are you having a wank? Do you want to place a bet?
pretty much.
There's good
No.
odds going right now.
No, Ray Winston appeared to.
Oh, don't get me high.
Ray Winston appealed to the rescue animal lover within me. That has put me on a watch list for the RSPCA.
No more rats from
Oh, darling, you're already on it.
And this is the sixth guinea pig.
Least sexy cat. We've been through this. Forget James Corden. It was Idris Elba. If you can turn him into something less sexy than he already is, then that's.
I mean, he's
And
still-
in
no,
the
no,
red
he's
corner,
sexy
Jim
than all the
Wood.
others.
Yeah, like James Gordon, just like. Oh.
Like I would pick James Corden, but
Or
I
James
just
Corden's butler.
I didn't like that his whole character was just one big fat joke. So I
Yeah.
don't want to pick him,
yeah.
and I'm just gonna throw in Judi Dench.
The magician.
Oh.
I just there's a lot.
I like Mr. Mistopheles. He
Never
was a
trust
sweet
a
soft
magician.
boy.
Yeah, I
He was a fucking beta cuck, but like I was just like, you can do magic. Women love it. Be assertive. God.
Just takes them ages to really use
Yeah,
them.
just
Well,
get it
magic
going.
back Judi Dench, but forget about the other prisoners.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
they came back later. It was fine.
Why didn't she
Did they?
unzip her cat suit earlier?
Also, I enjoyed the clipping on the fabric suit on the
Oh,
was-
it's just like,
It was it was not
What?
CGI proper. Clipping is where
two objects
they
go
go
through
through
each
each
other
other.
incorrectly, and it was just like, yeah, her over skin suit. When it was undone to reveal the underskin suit's jacket, like waistcoat thing,
Yeah.
was clipping through parts of the skin. It was weird.
yeah, and
Do you
also
think they just gave up?
No,
Yes.
the producers watched it and were like, "No, we're putting the money."
Really?
And I'm guessing, and
Oh.
they finished what CGI they could to, but they didn't have the money to finish it because they
I
knew
do-
that it was.
Someone just went,
flop.
Tom, what have you been doing? And he's like, it's cats. And they're like, what? We gave you so much money, and this is what you brought
But like,
us.
why did anyone give him so much money to
'Cause
make
the-
this in the first
he
place?
made Les
King's
Miserables.
speech.
Well,
And
no,
it
it's
made
because
so
of
much
Les
money.
Mis, but
Les
just
Mis
like
was
even
shit.
Les Mis
was
was
so
bad.
money.
This was the question I was going to ask also. Les Mis or Cats?
Les Mis.
Cats.
Ooh.
All right, wait, okay.
Suicide?
Maybe the Les Mis soundtrack over the top of the Cats visuals.
Yes.
Hugh Jackman as a cat.
Oh!
Yeah, that's
Now
surprising.
that's good. He should
That would
have
be
That's
most
amazing.
sexiest cat.
He should have been the lead cat guy whose name I still can't remember.
And
And he can
Cataway.
sing as well.
Yeah.
And he can
well,
sing.
kind of.
I mean,
For a movie star, you can sing.
Jim, just to let you know, on the night bus at some point home, I am just going to say a random cat name and be like, that's who it fucking was. Because I know I'm not going to get it on mic.
I'm prepared for it.
Okay, I feel like we've said
Crazy how
everything
long we've been
we're
talking.
going to
actually.
say about... We knew this was going to run long. It's been 57-ish minutes. It's not as long as Aquaman, don't worry about it. You know, we set that benchmark, so we'll never breach it. 90-minute podcast, madness. So...
Go check it out.
Yeah, it's a good episode. It is actually. I listened to it again. It's quite fun.
We talk about piracy.
We do.
Yeah, there was. Speaking of piracy, they make Judi Dench walk the plank in this movie.
Yeah,
It's
about
really
time.
weird.
that's not in the musical
and then
because
the amount of time it took him to Akio her to the right place.
And so it comes back, just a wet corpse appears.
Can we talk about how when Idris Elba teleports, he creates a silhouette of his logo?
Oh yeah.
Also, he's a cat who has a logo.
And also,
He's got to think of his brand.
And tiny cat wanted posters of
Actually,
his
no.
face.
Okay, so this is something that confused me quite a lot.
Yeah.
So many of them had collars.
yeah, and all of the
Yeah.
colours
Were,
were
were they lost cats or
Not
were
lost.
they-
Some of them live in houses and shit.
Yeah,
It's
they
just
just
like
gathered.
they're part of the Jellicle order.
They're
I
just
can't hear that
they're
word
sleeper
again.
agents.
You're
They're all in
gonna.
the cult, but they're in plain sight.
Because Jellicles do.
But also all of their collars warped because of CGI. They all of them warped.
Tom suggested them wearing actual collars on set, but
It
he
was
was then
too
asked
horny.
not to come on set for a few days.
Oh,
It was just like, no, stay in your caravan.
but I was going to point out, what's his name, Idris Elba, every time he wanted to teleport, he'd go, meow,
Yeah.
then he'd teleport. I was like, I wish I had that ability.
One of the best moments in the whole film was when Ian McKellen was meant to be singing whatever the fuck they were singing, and he was just like singing it, only saying meow.
Yeah,
Great.
that was solid.
There was
He
also
just
an-
given up.
There was also an amazing bit of ADR that I was just like, wow, this isn't even remotely
Oh,
close.
you mean all?
Lots of bits, but one that stuck out to me particularly is when Victoria went out to see Grisabella being sad by a lamppost, and she starts singing Memories, and like, what's the name of the actress who played Grisabella?
Jennifer
Jennifer
Hudson.
Jenna Hudson just sat there. It was like, Memories, and she's like, I
Yeah.
was like, there was no even attempt. They didn't even CG her mouth. She's just not singing, and then it cuts back, and Victoria's going, oh, and then we come back, and she's like, all unloaded. I'm like, okay, now you've actually got the tape.
Wait, is she
I
the
thought I imagined
ventriloquist?
that.
Oh, no.
I was like, because yeah, I remember like, is her mouth moving? And then like she was singing later, and I was like, yeah, of course they wouldn't.
They wouldn't just. Oh, they did. They put it out.
I think they only got one shot of everything.
Yeah, that was the best take they got all day.
Yeah.
I loved the way that Ian McKellen escaped from the chains by going, oh,
Turns out these were never a problem.
I would have lifted them off the whole time. Ah. Okay, I'm going to call an end to this fucking podcast because, final thoughts. We're going to start with Morton. What's your final thoughts on Cats? The musical, the movie. By Tom Hooper.
I don't know. It was, yeah, it wasn't as horrifying as I was expecting it, but I'm sure in a few nights when I wake up in a cold sweat,
You'll revise that opinion.
I'll revise that, yeah.
Do let us know how the second viewing is.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
So did I. It's like, Nick, we're not that close.
Not yet. Give it time. Sean.
I mean, finding some positives. Like I thought, from what we could see, some of the dancing was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people could dance.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
there were
More
Yeah.
people could dance than could sing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
singing was
Half the-
fine.
Half
like,
of the
yeah.
Royal Ballet were there.
yeah.
Some motherfuckers don't know what the diaphragm is in
Yeah.
this movie, and I'm just like, it's
Yeah.
about supporting your voice, not just going. "Eh."
Judy.
And also just
Ah, Judy.
sitting in that screen watching that film was great. Especially like I was sat next to Morton. Every time a new song came up, you just muttered, "Jesus Christ."
Did you not know it was a musical?
I did. It was more that, like, the way that I was putting it is that, like, on the way back, I mean, sorry, we did discuss it slightly, was that with Les Mis, there was at least, like, the weird kind of some conversation to progress the plot, whereas this
Yeah.
was literally just
Oh, yeah, there's no libretto
No.
in Cats.
No,
it's
this
just
was-
like
this was
set piece,
just
set piece, set piece.
nothing song, nothing song, nothing song, kill me, please.
There's nothing to explain because there is no plot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so, like I said, this
know,
movie
but,
had
like-
more plot than the original.
But
And the original is
worth
based on an
for it.
unconnected book of poems. None of the cats were meant to be together as a thing, as a continuous narrative. It's just a book of poems.
Good on
okay,
you,
no,
Elliot.
my final thought, weirdly, is that bleh. So Deuteronomy has been gender reversed. for this. Yet for their one actual only song for themselves towards the end, they kept on referring to cats as he, which felt slightly false.
Oh yeah, I did notice that.
That's some
Yeah,
good
same.
inside baseball. I like it.
Yeah.
Shay, final thoughts.
So Mamma Mia 2 is the best film of the decade because you have to you have to approach it with both equal and symbiotic measure of irony and sincerity.
And it's got Meowral Streep.
Yeah, and it's supported by both nostalgia, excellent songs, and cinematic filmmaking. Cher, of course, and cinematic filmmaking that also blends that irony and sincerity and the cinematic film. Anyway,
I'm really looking forward to your video essay about this.
Yes. And to kind of harken back to what you said in your first line what's the segment that we do?
One line hot takes.
One line hot takes. God, we've done too many of these shows.
This is our 55th episode, I think we're recording
No,
right
'cause
now.
you said you're going to release this one.
Oh, yes, this is probably episode
For the
53.
I think you're right in that. What is everyone talking about? And I think everyone is desperately trying really hard to go full on with, like, we love this both ironically and sincerely. Like, ha ha ha, yes, cats.
Cats killed my brain.
And
Did it?
Really, it's not.
Did it?
It's not a good film, and it's not so bad it's good either. It's just kind of like,
Yeah.
with a few moments that you're like, whoa.
Yeah, when they were eating them cockroach ladies, and you're like,
there's a
"Oh,
few
fuck."
moments, but like overall, and so fuck the discourse.
Racy.
I appreciate that hair is fucking a nightmare to animate.
It is.
That it's very difficult to map like characters and like motion capture, and then also like map scenery and combine them without them both warping and fucking around, but also just fire your compositor because that was a shit job.
Well, I feel like since we suspect that they may have just been told, now you were cutting your funds. Maybe they did fire the compositor.
Yeah,
But that's the thing. It's like Jim said. It's like just do it with actual practical effects in that case.
Yeah.
But the issue, the only reason they've not done that is because then people would be like, oh, but you're just filming theatre in that case. So they were like, oh, we've got film, so people don't need imagination. But in that case, go the whole fucking hog and make them actual cats.
But then you end up in a Lion King situation.
No,
like-
I think that should have been a Homeward Bound situation. They should have just filmed real cats in a room,
Yeah.
and then just they don't move their mouths. They just have people talk over them.
But then,
It would just be cats sleeping throughout the entire film.
If you-
Where's
I could have made
Wait.
this for £10.
Yeah, could
Play
we make
the
a better
soundtrack.
cats film just by filming? I think we could do this.
I
EJ
know
is
what else
now
people
on an
look at.
RSPCA watch list as well.
The
I have
next
a
Type
cat.
90 production.
You have one cat. Christina has one cat.
We
Let's
could
just
do
double
this.
them.
There are a lot of cats in our neighbourhood that hang out in our garden a lot. We could catch them easily.
There's enough mice in Genesis so we can make the mice thing.
And dead ones.
now where the cockroach?
All right.
And dead
I've got a
ones
New
too that
Year's
you could
project.
like. You could just tie like strings to the mice and put them on your fingers.
Just keep
Oh God.
I will say, when we were in the waiting room, in the atrium, I don't know,
Lobby.
whatever, the fucking
Foyer.
cinema.
Atrium.
Before we went in, EJ did,
We
not
ended
EJ,
on a
Racy did comment that she was looking forward to the notion of just seeing the actual real Cats version of this. The thing I thought of was your rendition of a Taylor Swift song with hands. And
Yeah.
I was like, you could fucking do like that with cats.
What I want to see is the Shrek demake version
Oh.
of this film.
I don't want to watch that.
Which is just furry porn, basically.
Yep.
But like, yeah.
EJ, your final thoughts on Cats, please.
My final thoughts are I'm going to make this and just play the soundtrack on the CD player
Sick.
to like a cat in a room.
You're not even going to dub the soundtrack of it, it's just going to have the CD player
No,
in
why
this
would I do that?
diegetic sound and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Jim.
I didn't enjoy the film, but I think it's just more that I wouldn't have enjoyed the musical either. I'm not very bothered about the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber. But I just have a weird admiration that they tried.
Yeah.
I will say that I really enjoyed talking about music. I really enjoyed like the 80s keyboard.
Me too.
Yeah,
That was fun.
that's not in the original. They did go with a sort of weird meow. No, that's a cat.
There we
I was
I liked the music at times, mostly in the beginning.
Yeah.
I should have made that my final
I
thought,
don't-
really,
Yeah,
shouldn't
that
I?
would have been great.
Christ, we've talked about cats for over an hour, but I guess that was how it was always going to be. My final thoughts is, oh God, I have to watch this again, and then you're going to get a second podcast about cats.
Is there
What more
enough
can
to
you
say about it?
I mean, I'm sure my sisters will have things to say, and they're fun and
And
interesting
you didn't
people.
do your rant.
Well,
You
it's-
had an infield rant.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, I kind of did the pieces of it in, like, spread out. I didn't want to dominate, you know.
For
I
the
didn't.
full rants, for
I
Yeah,
didn't.
tune in next time.
I didn't want
I'm
to.
sure
I
you'll
didn't.
do it
Subscribe
me.
to our Patreon for the full.
I'm sure you'll do it to me on the night bus home.
No, I
Yeah.
won't. It's
I
fine.
feel like this movie would also be best enjoyed with like acid, just sort of.
Anyway, wait. My final thought. I should have taken shape on them drugs that they offered me. Bye.